Today, we have to discuss about the computation of total income of individuals and also the computation of tax and liability as per the provisions of the assessment year of 2019-20. Taking the problem of heading number 3 here, Mr. Vinod submits the following particulars of his income for the year ending 31st March 2019. So end of 31st March 2019 is the relevant previous year or it is the financial year. Relevant to the problem, the given information is basic salary, DA, CCA and EA. The first 4 items are related to the computation of income from salary. Here basic salary is given, DA is given, CCA is given and EA is given. In addition to this one, there are no any other allowances and perquisites. Therefore, the gross salary becomes the total of the basic salary, DA, CCA and EA as computed in the statement here. Basic salary per month it is given 18,000. So per month it is 18,000, per annum it becomes 18,000. This is 2,60,000. And DA 6,000 per month, it is 72,000. CCA 600 per month, 7,200. EA 750 per month, 9,000. Okay, EA is to be included in the gross salary. Later on, if provisions are allowed, you have to give deduction under section 16 sub 2, that is to only to the government employees. So taking all the 4 contents in total, that is 3,04,200 becomes the gross salary here. So from the gross salary, as usual, we have to give 3 deductions under section 16. That is, the first one is standard deduction. The standard deduction is rupees 40,000 for gross salary, whichever is less. So here 40,000 is less than the gross salary, therefore it is allowed. The second deduction under section 16 is the entertainment allowance. It is allowed only to the government employees, but here the assessee is not given as a government employee, hence we have to assume that is a non-government employee, hence EA deduction is not available. And the third deduction under section 16 is the provision, that is the professional or employment tax. So here there is no any information regarding the payment of professional tax by the assessee, hence that also not available as a deduction. So therefore the gross salary is 3,04,200 and the deduction available under section 16 in total it is 40,000. Therefore the total is 3,04,200 minus of 40,000 is equal to 2,64,200 is the taxable salary. Then the second head of income is the income from HP. Related to the income from HP, they are given here rent from house property rupees 60,000 per annum. So here rent received per month, municipal taxes or otherwise information is not given here, only the rent is given here. So therefore the annual rent will be taken as the net annual value here. So even though it is the municipal taxes, hence by rent from house, it is the net annual value is rupees 60,000. From this one under section 24, we have to give the standard deduction at the rate of 30% of net annual value. That is 30% of 60,000 comes to 18,000 rupees. So therefore 60,000 minus standard deduction available under section 68 under section 24 is 18,000. Therefore the net taxable income from house property is 42,000. Next, by observing the given accounting information related to Mr. Vinod, there is no information regarding the income from business and profession. Therefore, profits and gains from business and profession is nil. So then is they are given here is that is as per the point number 8, he had sold another residential house on 1/4/2018. That is the beginning of the previous year for is 22,000. Its fair market value as on 1/4/2019 was 6 lakhs and cost of indexed cost of inflation index for 2001 218 and 19 280. So this is the topic related to capital gains. The fourth head of income, that is capital gains. The full sale consideration, that is the actual sale value given is rupees 22 lakhs here. So from 22 lakhs we have to give deduction of indexed cost of acquisition. That is the fair market value as on 1/4/2018. They are given 6 lakhs. Indexing, that is a 280 divided by 100. So indexed cost of fair market value, nothing but indexed cost of acquisition is 16 lakhs 80,000 and therefore the taxable income from capital gains is 5,20,000. Then the fifth head is income from other sources. So referring the information given here, the incomes related to other sources is one is the agricultural income, another is the dividend received from Reliance Industries. So agricultural income they are given, but where it is earned, they are not given. Hence why we have to assume that the agricultural income is earned in India. So therefore, agricultural income in India is completely exempted from tax under Section 10. Then the next one is dividend received from Reliance Industries Limited. The location or situation of the Reliance Industries Limited is not given. Therefore, we have to assume that it is one of the Indian company. Therefore, the dividend received from any Indian company is exempted. So therefore, apply that one, that is income from the other sources. Agriculture income in India exempt, dividend from Indian company exempt. Therefore, income from other sources is nil. So therefore, the gross total income, nothing but the total taxable income from all the five heads. The total taxable income from all the five heads, rupees 8,26,000 is the gross total income of the assessee. So likely we have to calculate the gross total income here. So gross total income is nothing but the taxable income from all the five heads of income. All the five heads of income is, the first one is salary income, the second one is house property, third one is capital gains, third one is profits and gains from business and profession, fourth one is capital gains, and the fifth one is income from other sources. Dear students, so whenever we need to calculate the total taxable income of any assessee, first of all we have to compute the taxable income from each of the five heads. Then we have to get it totalized. The totalized taxable income of all the five heads will be technically called as gross total income. Okay, so in this problem we have to learn only up to the stage of calculation of gross total income. Okay.